Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Hey, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is Bill, Alan, and Dennis, and we are coming at you for our show going to be on March 29th. So that's episode number 114.
That's a big number.
It's a big number. We have broke the 100 barrier. We're approaching 115 quickly, like in about a week.
You can add.
I'm not a math whiz, but I got that one. Single digits are good. I'm going to get with that. Anyway, so what kind of news we got this week, fellas? Anything?
I'll throw out a little chitter chatter about the Rock and Pod Expo coming up.
There you go.
Don't forget, folks. Chitter. Don't forget, folks, on August 25th, Uncle Gene's birthday. The Rock and Pod Expo will be taking place in Nashville, Tennessee. And if you would like to be a guest on our show or be a guest host, you pick the topic. Go to agesofrock.com and click on that Nashville Rock and Pod Expo on the right side of the screen. And if you donate $50, that will get you early entry into the show, and you get to be a guest host on our show, your topic. If you donate $75, same thing applies, and you get an Ages of Rock t-shirt. If you want to donate more than that, you're welcome to, but you still just get a t-shirt.
Yeah,
and
to be on the show.
And that's all I got.
That's it? Nothing?
Well, we got the Indie Expo. You want to talk about that? We're going to be at Indy.
Why don't you talk about that, Dennis?
I don't know the dates.
May the 12th and 13th.
There you go. We're going to be there. We're going to have a little stand set up. We're going to have some T-shirts for sale and a few things like that. Going to be a great lineup.
When you hear "got T-shirts for sale," you got to think that sing it with Gene Simmons on the Love Gun.
I was going to say. Got love for sale. Come on.
Got T-shirts for sale.
So
Anyway,
bad.
Yeah, you shouldn't have me sing. So, one thing I got this week, guys, I did go to the went to the Don Felder Styx REO concert this last week, and Tim Rosner, he hooked me up to go there. One of our past guests. I want to tell him hey and thank you for doing that. Show was extremely awesome. You know, I've seen Styx and REO both. I mean, good Lord. I mean, probably 5-6 times a piece. Had never seen Don Felder. I figured he was a throwaway. Was thoroughly just loving Don Felder. I mean, it was basically a Eagles concert minus he did do heavy metal from the heavy metal soundtrack that he recorded that song. His band was just completely unbelievable. He had just first class musicians. Everybody sang well. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was like watching watching an Eagles show.
Did he do just heavy metal, or did he do another original?
No, just heavy metal.
Okay, I saw him. It was Don Felder and Forerunner and Styx in St. Louis a few years ago, and he did two Don Felder songs, and then the rest of them was the Eagles.
Yeah, he's got a new album out, but he did not play any of those. He played all Eagle stuff. Like I said, and then they had at one point. Had Tommy Shaw come out and play banjo on, God, I can't think of the name of the song that would have been on. Anyway, he came out for that. And then at the very end, he did Hotel California, had Tommy Shaw come out, the guitar player for REO come out to help do those leads there at the end. I tell you what, it was fantastic. I mean, Rod and I looked at each other afterwards and was like, going, damn, that was a good show.
Yeah, when I
saw...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say when I saw him in St. Louis, it was kind of the same thing, except only Tommy Shaw came out.
Right. No, it was no, I was extremely I didn't know what to expect, and it was just a surprise, and it was like going, and he played 11 songs. So it was almost like a
Wow,
a whole thing for himself.
it's almost a Kiss show.
I figured that and I figured, and if it was a Ramon show, it would have been only 22 minutes long. No. Anyway, um but the whole thing was, if it was funny, was I thought Styx was going to be the headliner. I guess they're switching back and forth. Well, REO was the headliner this time around. So Styx was out next. Styx came out just, I mean, they're just phenomenal. I mean, you just cannot. Styx does not do a bad show. Um, Played all their hits, just one right after another. They did play one off the new record, and I can't think of what the name of the song was. Um, it was that, but I didn't take a pee. I think I did take a pee break at that point. And then after that was over with, REO came out and just nailed it. Actually, Kevin Cronin's voice. Last time I seen him 2 years ago, and with Journey, and his voice was a little bit off, and it was just right on this time, and just enjoyed the show immensely. It was Rod and I both, it was a long hell. That show wasn't over till I was telling Kelly, it'll be over at 10. I'll be home by 10, 15, 20. We were at the wall. We went to old IHOP. We didn't get to IHOP till 11:30.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a late night.
I think Tim said it was a long show.
Yeah, it was extremely. It started at 7, and it was over probably about 11. And there was 3 bands doing three sets. I mean, 3 shows. So yeah, it was well worth the time, and it was just a night of great tunes. I mean, it was like one of those things where you knew every song, you sang along, and it was just. If you get to see this tour, go see it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that went to the show, and all I saw on Facebook was great, 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 great. So that was pretty cool.
It was an old crowd. I'm telling you what, dude.
Well, you were there.
I felt young. I actually felt young at this show. I shit you not. And I tell you what, though, them people were drinking beer like they were 18. I mean, it was.
So now tell me this. You've heard me complain about how people can't stay in their seats at other shows. How was it at the REO show? Was there a lot of people moving around?
We got really good. Actually, we sat at the side stage on it was section 107, so right at the side of the stage, which I usually don't like that, but I'm telling you what, the sound was really good there. The mix was good. Kind of enjoyed it. You're kind of like a little bit in the front of the stage, and they had a part of the stage that came out that they walked out onto, so you could kind of watch them from the side. We were sitting in seat 5 and 6, which is it's kind of a fucked up kind of section there. So that's actually the 2 first seats. Dude, we didn't have to. I didn't have to get up hardly, but maybe twice. So no, we didn't. It wasn't like that deal for us. We just sit there.
Wait a minute. This row had 2 seats in it.
No, it was 5. It started out 5 and 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh,
it started
okay.
out.
It
started out at number 5. No, it's one of those.
Unless you got up.
No, it's actually the row kind of comes down, and at that point, there's some. It's just a weird section over to the side, but the seat numbers are kind of odd. But we were on the 2 outside seats. I had the row. I had the row seat. Rod had the next one, and then. But our section wasn't a whole. I mean, that was actually set for. VIP people and people that were with the band and stuff like that. So it wasn't a real crowded section because a lot of them went backstage and stuff. So anyway.
Did you do anything? Did you get there early?
Yes, we got there super early. Tim told me to get in there at 5, and I got down there at 5, and then our tickets weren't ready for a while, so we went to the backstage bar and had a couple adult beverages before we went in. And then Tim finally called me and said, "Yeah, your tickets are up at the ticket office." So I went up there and we got our tickets and then went in. And then so yeah, it was confusing. Tim was busy. He wanted us to come back and talk to. He actually came out. We went down to the front of the stage, to the side, and talked to security guards for a while he was supposed to come down there. He come back there. I think they was having maybe some technical issues or something, because he's like, man, he goes, "I'm really busy. Let me come get you after Felder." And he knew where we were sitting. And then, of course, never seen him anymore. But I was having a good time. Didn't matter either way.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the night, we got ready to leave, and I had texted him. I said, "Hey, thank you, appreciate the tickets. Love the show." And we were actually out of the stadium, but in the atrium. And I get a text from him. He says, "You still in the building?" He goes, "I'm at the end of the stage. Where you at?" So we walked back in. And then we sit and talk to him then for about 15, 20 minutes. He sit there and bullshitted with us. But of course, that time they're tearing stuff down. He's getting a call on his radio every 5 seconds. So, I mean, he's a busy man. He's a one-legged man in a ass kicking contest. So
I would think so. If you're running a production, could you imagine running a Kiss show like that?
God.
He was talking about that. Holy crap!
Well, I mean, and at the time is when they're done. I mean, it goes into action at that point. There ain't no fucking around at that point. So
they got to get on the road because they got a show tomorrow night.
Exactly.
Yep.
But no, I do appreciate Tim getting us tickets, getting me and my buddy tickets, and he was extremely nice, but just extremely busy. But no, it was a great show. Great show.
I'm going to try to catch them in the summer when they go out on the summer. It won't be. Don Felder's not with them, but
you're going to do the Joan Jett show.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'll be up there with you, buddy.
Yep. Yeah. Try to get Noah. Noah wants to go, so I think we're going to drag him up there.
All right,
cool.
That's all I got.
All right, for me, let's see. First off, I got a new shirt. Here's my new shirt from my band Dokken, which is my favorite band, one of my favorite bands. And on April, is it April 16th the album comes out? Yeah, I think April 16th is when the new album comes out, which is actually kind of the Return from the East Live that was recorded and filmed in 2016 when the original band members all went over to Japan, did a few shows over there. And there's a new song on there, and it's called, I just had it. It's Another Day. That will be also released at that time. You can actually hear the song now. It sounds like classic Dokken. It's awesome. I wish those guys could figure out a way to get back together and do a tour, but I don't think that's going to happen. I heard Jeff Pilson on a show not long ago, and he was kind of there. It's just logistically really, really difficult with all of them to get back together. So.
Is the video or the DVD that they're releasing, is that the one that was in Japan, or is this the one that they filmed at that casino?
I think the video is the one from Japan.
Because I know that they filmed
them both. They may have filmed them both. I don't know for sure.
Because the South Dakota thing, I know that they filmed for a fact because I seen them do Mr. Scary and they kept having a technical issue and they redid it like 4 times. It was on video when they were doing it because even Jeff Pilson said, we're doing this for a DVD. So that's why I thought that's where that was coming from, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up because I thought I had that right, but I could be wrong. So anyway, looking forward to that good new music. So that'll be great. Anyway, there you go on that. And then I have been in New Orleans this week. So I was there from Wednesday through just got back yesterday. Got to some pretty good music. Went to a couple of different jazz clubs that were pretty good. Went to Preservation Hall. If you ever go to New Orleans, you need to go to Preservation Hall. It's right behind Pat O'Brien's. And I'm pretty sure that the guy that was playing the saxophone was 80 years old, if not more. And I'm pretty sure his saxophone was probably 80 years old. I mean, but it was incredible to see, 4 or 5 people just play some old school jazz. And they played, some stuff that was just really, really good stuff. It was great.
Is Preservation Hall open every day?
Yeah.
Night?
Yep.
I know that's
do.
I'm sorry. I'm saying that we know about it because of the Sonic Highways. That's where they
right. Yep.
Foo Fighters went there, but I didn't know if it was like only a weekend only or whatever it was. But it's every night. Then okay.
It's every night, and they only have so many seats available, and then the back of it's all standing. But I bet there's I don't know how many people they get in there. It's not a lot. I mean, if it's 150 people, that would be a lot. But we had to go there at 7:15 to get in for the 8:00 show, and we got in, and maybe 20 people after us got in.
Wow.
And the line was just like a block long. And so, but most times they have like a 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 8, 9, and sometimes a 10:00 show too in the summer. So,
but are there, but isn't it open doors to where you can stand outside and still hear, or is it a closed building?
It's a closed door. There are windows back there, but they weren't open. They could have.
I thought it had like a garage door situation where it was opened up, but I guess so. Okay.
No, but anyway, it was really cool. They played some great music and people were singing along, and um, it was neat. Seeing those old guys get up there and just wail on it was pretty cool. So definitely worth the time. Anyway, so that was it for me. So we have a great guest, and here we go. Hey, with us tonight is Ryan Cook. And Ryan's got, man, that dude's got I don't know, he's got a history about yay long of all kinds of stuff he's been doing.
Some good stuff.
Some great stuff, man.
God.
Great stuff.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here with you guys. This is awesome.
It's good to have you. I tell you, my introduction, I think mine and Alan's introduction to you was seeing the Gene Simmons show in Anderson, Indiana this past summer.
That's correct.
And I was so freaking floored by that band. I mean, and I'm telling you, good God. I was like,
thank you guys.
Yeah, it was really cool. It really was.
So that was an outdoor gig, right?
Yeah, at a right outside of a horse park.
That's right. Yeah, Hoosier Park. Yeah. Hoosier Park. Yeah, that was great. And we hadn't done that many shows. You know, the Gene tour started in February of 2017. And if I remember right, your show was right at the beginning of summer. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first shows of that concert series at the casino horse track kind of thing. And man, the crowd was great. The staff there was great. We had a great time. And that was kind of a point where we were just kind of starting to toy around with a bunch of different songs in the set, figuring out what works and what doesn't work and everything. And it was just a really great night. I remember it was pretty hot. It was pretty hot night. Yeah, we had a good time.
I have to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
The point where Gene says we need 50 or 60 people up on the stage, me and Bill come hauling ass up there, and we ended up behind the barricades, so we didn't get to get on stage. We run around the wrong side.
Oh, you're behind us.
No, I wasn't.
Well, no,
we weren't behind you.
barric-
We were
yeah.
between the stage and the barricade.
Oh, so you
But
were
that
stuck
wasn't where
there.
you were supposed to go on, so we missed out.
You missed a couple steps. You should have been on stage with us. Well,
Yeah.
next time we
sure.
play there, I'll make sure that you guys get on stage this time.
Hey, that'll be great. The
Yeah,
fun thing
and
about
tell Gene that I get to play bass on Charisma.
He probably lets you. He probably let you. He
That
would.
would, I could die a happy man if that ever happened.
the funny thing for me there during that whole thing was, I mean, just watching those. And I don't remember what song it was. Was it Shout It Out Loud? We have a bunch of guys come on stage and sing.
I love it loud.
I love it loud. Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah. I know where he's
there's
going.
a guy standing right in front of your mic, and he's like, from you're playing and just all into it, and he's up there taking pics off the thing,
Oh, yeah.
and then the dude he looks up and he just grabs the whole strip of tape and takes the whole strip off and stuffs it in his pocket.
And we laugh because you're right. Story of my life. So that happens every show. Okay. Because there's a couple moments during Do You Love Me? Gene likes to have all the girls come up.
Yep.
I Love It Loud. He likes to have all the guys come up. And then Rock and Roll Night at the end is free for all.
Yeah, mayhem.
It's everybody comes up. But we always joke, Do You Love Me is the We're Gonna Steal Your Pick song. This is between the guys in the band. Me, Phil, and Jer. The drummer, he's safe back there behind his. But so Do You Love Me? The girls steal our picks. Shout It Out, or what was the other one? I Love It Loud. And all the guys up there, we have those pedals in front of our mic stands, our pedal boards. That's where the guys step all over our stuff and mess up our settings and kick stuff loose. Okay.
Dennis and I feel your pain.
I know. I live that.
And sometimes, and finally, we just kind of go, you just got to roll with it. You got to roll with it. It's fun. It's a good time. So we always kind of hold our breath at the end. I Love It Loud and look and see how crushed our stuff is, or if everybody's pretty cool. Because I've actually gotten to the point now where like, hey, can you be a little careful and not step on our stuff? Like, we need this for another hour. So it works out. Nobody means any harm. Everybody wants to have fun, and we have a good time doing it. As long as Gene wants to do it, we'll keep doing it.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Sure.
How did this become? How did you get to be Gene's band?
Well, he and I had met each other a lot of times over the years, on and off.
Okay.
I've said this before. We weren't friends. We weren't enemies by any stretch, but we were acquaintances. We weren't friends. He'd see me places. I'd see him a lot more places than he'd see me, if that makes any sense. And the times that we did get in the same room, he'd remember who I was or whatever, but it was never, oh, that's Ryan and I'm going to be in a band with that guy someday. It was never like that. The way that I got onto his radar was when the Kiss Cruise started. And you guys are familiar with the Kiss Cruises.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We did that, and, we were the only band, Big Rock Show, that got asked to do it every year. So, you're on a boat, you're kind of held captive for someone for a week. He was forced to see me 1 week a year for 6 years in a row. And he and Paul and the guys were always really cool about coming down and watching us. And after 5 or 6 of those, he finally reached out to me and said, finally, I guess, kind of remembered who I was, got to know me. Then he reached out to me and he said, hey, I think I'm going to do these solo dates. I remember seeing you on the boat. How would you feel about putting together a band for me? And literally, that's how it happened. And we actually had that meeting on the boat, on the ship. He invited me to lunch one day and we went out, had a great time. And, he's just, it's been great. He said, look, I don't care who you get. He was real trusting, which kind of surprised me. Not that I didn't think I could get the guys, but just the fact that the position he's in and going, hey, get some guys that can do this. And I knew immediately Phil and Jeremy would be perfect for it just because we play so well together and the three of us together, pretty big Kiss nerds. We could figure it out. And then we had to figure out who we had to play drums, and it all worked out, But that's how it happened. Literally, Gene just said, put together a band, and I'll meet you in Nashville in a month. And that's what happened. So he came right before Christmas in, that year, and we just went over and rehearsed for 4 hours, and he's like, okay, I'll see you in Canada at the end of January. And
wow.
And that's how
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And we had no idea when he came to Nashville. I mean, honestly, that first night in Nashville when we rehearsed, man, we didn't know what we were going to do. We thought we'd be doing a lot of Kiss songs, and we did anything but. We had to twist his arm to get him to do a couple of Kiss songs that night with us. We were doing like Wilson Pickett songs and Roy Head songs and Beatles and all this stuff. And then it got to be the end of the fourth hour, and we're kind of like, man, are we doing any Kiss songs? He's like, no, you guys know those. So we kind of made him play Deuce with us. And I think it was Deuce and Shout It Out Loud or something like that. But
just in case it falls to shit, at least you've done it with him.
Yeah, exactly. And, we were going to do 3 or 4 shows, and then here we are over a year later, and we're already booked into the end of this year. So it's been awesome. It's just been really cool experience, and he's obviously enjoying himself, which is pretty much our MO every day, is to make sure that we always have our act together. So there's, we always hope that the margin for error is 0. But stuff happens sometimes. But for the most part, we always make sure that we're prepared and we're ready for him because we don't have to worry about anything. And so far, it's been working out pretty well. So we're pretty happy with it. They're pretty good.
Well, I think that Gene has taken this, the Kiss show itself is so structured.
Right.
You know what's going to happen. You know when the pyro, when the lights is going to be.
Sure.
I truly think that Gene feels that let's just go fuck off for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it looks to me. It looks like he's having a good time. It looks like he doesn't care if they get up there and y'all try to play a song and he bombs it. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, we do rehearse stuff and we go over a lot of things together and everything. But, to his credit, Gene's never told us no. If we say, can we try Ladies' Room tonight? Well, let's do it in the sound check. And then we'll kind of go through it and he'll be like, okay, let's try it. Some nights we'll say, hey, can we try, I'll just make up a song. I don't know, a Wilson Pickett thing or whatever. He'll go, well, let's try it. And then after we try, I'll go, I'm not so sure about whatever. So to his credit, he tries everything. He doesn't come out like a dictator and go, he's never once said, even though it's a known fact, it's his show. It's his deal. We're going to do what he wants and everything. But he never comes out and presents it like that to us. He never comes down and slams his fist down and says, okay, we're doing this and that's it. You can't do anything else. And he's very flexible and accommodating, and he's just having fun. Sound checks sometimes are my favorite part of the day just because we sit and jam stuff, like old Kiss stuff. Like we'll kick into Unholy, or we'll kick into All the Way, or we'll kick into whatever. And sometimes those sound checks turn into like, well, we should just do that. Almost Human happened like that. We're just playing it, and he's like, "Man, that sounds good. We're gonna do it tonight." So you just never know.
It sounds to me like it's a journey for him too. He doesn't really know what's going to happen, and like you said, if it sounds good, and that goes against everything that we've thought for years as far as with the original, with the Kiss. The Kiss set list has not changed over. I mean, for forever. It's carved in like granite.
For a long time, yeah. And I've been seeing him for over 30 years now, easily. And the thing is that the Kiss show is a very structured thing because their day is planned from the second they get up till the minute they lay their head down at night. As it is with most bands, but with them, the most structured part of the night is there's safety issues with that show.
Sure.
They don't switch it up a lot every night because they spend so much time rehearsing, getting that production together, as to where there's pyro cues, there's choreography movements, there's drum risers, there's everything happening. You got to be on point. So changing it up for them every night is not an option.
Yeah, well, James Hetfield can tell you what it's like to miss a pyro cue.
Absolutely.
So, I understand that.
Yeah.
And that's a real serious fact about the whole thing is like, the Kiss show is, it's like a war zone up there,
right,
in a cool way, very controlled, but every second is planned of that show. So with us, he shows up for the day, that day. If I see him in cowboy boots and jeans and a black shirt that day, that's his show clothes for that night. You know what I mean? He doesn't go through makeup, the whole deal, and he's pretty chill and just kind of kicks it backstage and tells us stories and wonders what we're doing. And then all of a sudden it's showtime, and he's pretty relaxed.
That's
and not to say he's not relaxed with Kiss. It's just a different kind of relaxed. It's apples and oranges for sure.
That's definitely what I noticed. I mean, when he first, I remember when Alan and I were at that show, I remember we talked about it. It was so different seeing him in that setting of being the front man.
Yeah.
And, you never know, you really don't know. I mean, because you've never seen him in that light before. And
Right.
It was like, well, you do now because you have the opportunity to have video and stuff like that. We saw from some of the, the early, the very early stuff that was going on, but you really didn't know when he had to do an hour and a half show or an hour, whatever,
Right.
how is he going to carry that show?
Exactly.
And I was extremely impressed with the fact that he didn't miss a beat. He had a good time. He was relaxed. Like you said, he was relaxed. Things didn't go right. He didn't throw a fit. He just was like, okay, we'll just roll with it. I mean, he had trouble whenever we were there. This one woman was like, just couldn't get off the stage, and he's like trying to be very polite and not push her ass down the stairs.
Yeah.
But he was not being. He wasn't ever
right.
rude to anybody or nasty or just none of that stuff at all. And I was really impressed. I mean, it gave me a great deal of respect for him in that light because, I've seen Paul on a solo tour as well.
Yeah, I went to opening night on Live to Win. I went with Doc. Yeah.
And that to me was, it was Paul's a front man, and he was a front man in that band as well, and he played it well. But even in that setting for Paul,
yeah,
it was different.
Yeah,
it was. He felt, to me, he was very different too. So I was really interested to see if that was going to translate for Gene, and it did. I mean, Gene did a phenomenal job.
He did, and I was, man, when that was, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it 2007 when Live to Win came out and Paul did the solo tour?
2006.
Yeah.
2006. Okay, so I'm off a year. That tour kicked off in Atlanta at the Tabernacle, which is 3.5, 4 hours from here. And I went down to that show with Doc and absolutely just loved it. I actually sat behind Gene at that show. They had a little VIP section roped off, and I was sitting right behind Gene. And at one point, and I was loving the show, man. Magic Touch and Million to One. And,
oh, yeah.
And when he closed with Goodbye, I just was, he was in spectacular voice, and that band was great. And having that third guitar keyboard and those extra harmony, I mean, there was nothing wrong with that night. I loved the show. And it was very rehearsed. There were segues, and they definitely had that show. This is the show, and this is the way it's going to be. You know what I mean? And in a very relaxed, cool kind of way. As to where our show is, man.
Who knows?
We have a set list but I don't know if we're going to go directly from one song into another, or if he's going to stop and talk for a couple minutes, or if he's going to bring some. I mean, I have no idea. We are as surprised as you guys are at those shows, as to where Paul's was a lot more structured and had a different kind of flow to it, or actually had a flow to it, as where ours, it has a flow, but it's like organized chaos, if that makes any sense. And it's all, we just follow his lead. But the funny thing about that Paul show, I was sitting right behind Gene, as far as the back of his head, from as I am to my computer screen right now. And I'm singing every word at the top of my lungs, right? Every word. And I'm not, and I'm sitting by myself because Doc's backstage somewhere on the side, and I want to see it from the front. So I'm sitting behind. And at one point, and this is before Gene, he recognized me, but he didn't know. He didn't know who I was, and he didn't. But at one point, he turned around and looked at me kind of like, shh. Because I was singing too loud, and I did tell him that story, about a year ago. I'm like, because we talk about stuff all the time. And I'm like, that guy you shushed, which he doesn't remember. He meets so many people every day. But it's just funny. And at that point, if you would have told me that I'd be in a band with Gene, fast forward 10 years,
yeah,
I would have said you're on drugs. I mean, neither of us knew. But the guy screaming his head off, annoying him behind him, singing every word to Magic Touch would end up being the guy that puts together a band for him 10 years later. He never would have believed it either.
But the thing is, it's difference between me standing behind Gene singing Magic Touch and you doing it, because you were probably fucking nailing it. You know what I'm saying? He's probably going, man, God damn, there's Paul's replacement.
In my head, I thought I was.
Well, in my head, I know I wouldn't have been. It would have been terrible.
Yeah. But
I was at the Chicago show for that when they filmed it for the video. So I'm in the video periodically, just bits and pieces, but it was cool.
Show as well. I went to that one as well. I flew up and met Doc for that one, because that's a really short flight from Nashville. But I did not end up on the video. But what a great venue, man!
Oh, that venue's great.
That's my favorite House of Blues, and I've played all. That's my favorite one. I love it. But it just goes to show you how cool Kiss is, because the fact that Paul Stanley is the front man of Kiss. That's it. He is the front man, right? But there are two lead singers in Kiss. And you can't say that about many bands. Eagles did it, different things like that. But just the fact that both lead singers were able to go do solo tours, really cool solo tours, I'm so happy and proud to have been a part of one of them. And especially it's my favorite band. So, this all seems pretty win-win for me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. You may not want to answer this.
Sure.
All right. So you said that Paul Stanley is the front man of Kiss. So there's this whole talk about 2.0.
Sure.
So can you go there?
Sure I can.
With somebody else being Paul?
Oh,
playing that role?
I thought you meant, can I discuss it? You know what? I'll go see it. I will go see it. And here's the reason I'll tell you this. Is, okay, first of all, it will not be Kiss. Okay.
Well, we all agree with that.
we all agree with that. Not because we like or dislike the idea, but because it's just a fact, right? And they've already proven that, two of the guys have already proven, the founders, that they're completely okay with having not all original members. I mean, Mark St. John, Bruce Kulick, Vinny, Eric, Tommy, the whole deal. They're convinced that man can move forward, and they can propel the band however they want to. The reason I'll tell you that I will go see it is because between the four of us, we've all gone to see Kiss tribute bands, haven't we? I mean, if whatever your local venue is, and if a Kiss tribute band comes through town, Cold Gin, perfect example. Tommy Thayer and Jamie St. James were doing that, and Paul and Gene went to see it in like 95, 96. I was there one of the nights that Paul and Gene went to see Cold Gin, and I went to see Cold Gin because I loved Kiss so much, and I wanted to see someone. And I remember when I was in Florida, I saw years and years before that, I saw a band called Strutter. And I went to see Strutter, a Kiss tribute band. And I was just always excited to see anybody doing Kiss. Now, some of them do it better than others. I know they're the purest and whatever, and I think that I am. But man,
I'll tell you right now, blonder than hell.
Yeah, okay, there, yeah.
You got
two of my dearest friends. There you go. I go. We all talked earlier about how much we love their show and everything. I definitely will go see it. And by no way, shape, or form do I go, this is Kiss. It's like, this is part of the whole history thing, for lack of a better word. And if Paul and Gene are endorsing it and sticking it out there, it's like, I will definitely go check it out for sure. Who knows? One of us may know someone that ends up being in the band. It could be one of our friends we don't even know about. Like Eric Singer may have a guy or whatever. It's like, I'm never going to rule out going to see something like that. I'm not so. I would like Kiss to last forever.
Well, you talked about Cold Gin. I don't have the picture anymore, but at one time I had a picture of Gene and Paul and Eric from the Revenge era, and then Tommy Thayer was in the makeup. So, I had that picture of the Sonic Boom lineup, basically, from way back in 1992 or 93.
See, you know what? When I was in L.A. At that time, there was a venue called the FM Station. And FM Station was kind of in the North Hollywood area. And Cold Gin had played there. They played there, and they played the Troubadour as well. And I went to both shows, but I can't remember which one that Paul, Gene, and Eric showed up to see. It may have been both. But I remember seeing them all there, and I think that one of the photos that you're probably talking about is probably from Metal Edge magazine that Jerry Miller took.
That sounds correct.
I bet you that's it. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny that, at that time that was not Kiss, but ended up being Kiss.
It ended up being Kiss. I know. And, speaking of Revenge, man, that was one of my all-time favorite Kiss records ever.
Oh, ever. Bill will agree with you on that.
Not just... Because
Bill and Alan both agree.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to wear my Dress to Kill T-shirt tonight. I have a Dress to Kill T-shirt that Dennis loves because on the back it's the mirrored back of the shirt.
Yeah, I have one, but I wore it out to where it completely. I had to throw it out. I was like, oh man.
Now
I can't find it. I can't.
For
find
the people who are watching this, I don't know what day this is going to be aired, but we're recording this on the 43rd anniversary of the release of Dress to Kill.
No way.
Yeah. So I was going to wear my Dress to Kill shirt tonight for that reason, but then I knew that this wasn't going to come out till next week. So I think I told you it was going to be this Thursday, but it's actually next Thursday. And I didn't want to look like a goofball, but hey, since we're talking about it, it's all right.
Well, in place of your Dress to Kill T-shirt, you have a really awesome Kiss logo on the wall behind you. Where'd you get that?
There you go. It's a fathead. You know those sports fatheads?
I sure do.
Yeah, so it's a fathead, and then I've got a couple other things hanging on the wall too.
I see a plaque on my left over there. What is that?
That's an Alive 2 gold record.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so I got a few things. We've this is my room, so I get to she can have the whole rest of the house. Do anything she wants, I don't care.
This show will be coming out the 29th of March. So
okay, great. Awesome.
And Alan's got this big sheet up because he's got all of his Mitch LaFont.
That's my BDSM wall.
I love it. And I see back there over here, you got a 412 cabinet back there with the PV head.
Yeah, the 5150, a little Yamaha. That's my backup. There's another little PV classic behind it. And,
okay. So maybe
my
EV.
What's that?
Maybe
no,
not
tonight.
No? Okay.
Not tonight.
Okay.
But my main amp, I use a EVH Stealth.
Oh, they're great.
I love that thing. I use it. I'm about ready to have to retube it because I'm done burned the tubes in it.
Gotta fix it. You gotta fix it. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I play cowbell. That's my.
You don't put tubes in the cowbell though. You don't have to retube that thing.
Nah, I don't.
Sometimes you branch out, play a little triangle.
Yeah, I have. I've been and chimes. I've been known to hit the chimes. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I can play a mean pen on the notepad drum thing. But other than that, I got nothing.
So what's your setup? What do you use? What's your weapon of choice and your setup? What are you using now?
Currently using all vintage guitars. There's a company. The company's actually called Vintage, and we were all me, Jerry, and Philip were always Gibson Les Paul guys. Always, right?
Right.
And I've got some really cool classic Gibsons that are getting to the point now, age-wise, to where I'm really nervous about taking them on tour with me and stuff, because if something happened to them, they got stolen, they got whatever, the guys are in the same boat. And Phil found this company called Vintage that makes just the most awesome, beautiful guitars, and they're basically Les Paul styles, the ones we're using. And so we're taking those on the road. That's the vintage V100s, or the ones we're using, the Icon series. And then Philip and I recently jumped over to Kemper amps, the profiling amps. Or actually, I have. Philip hasn't. But we've been talking about, Philip messes with mine a lot. Philip's an Orange guy. I'm Kemper. Jeremy's got a Marshall he uses and whatnot. So we all basically, a lot of the stuff we do are fly dates. So Marshalls are basically our backline stuff they give us. But I think I'm going to start taking my Kemper on the road with me. I just got it like a month ago.
Right.
So, but whenever we get backline somewhere, it's Marshalls. I'll ask for Marshalls for Jer, or just Philip, and I'll probably bring my Kemper. But we fly everywhere. So basically, all we take with us are guitars and drumsticks. Everything we do are flight dates.
As far as effects, are you minimal effects? Just basically straight out.
Especially for this gig, maybe a little delay here and there. Charisma. Different things like that, Almost Human. I know there's some delay pedals and stuff that Phil and Jerry use on different solos and whatnot. But in Kiss, you didn't need that.
No, it was a flat out sound. It was guitar.
Les Paul Marshall is basically the way to go on all that kind of stuff. So works out pretty good for us.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I don't remember seeing video of. Well, how do you hit pedals in 7-inch hills?
Well, you know what? They never did.
I've never seen a photo
of
the stage with any kind of pedals at all.
Nothing. Because Gene is just basically overdriven Ampeg SVT, and they all run wireless packs now. They're all wireless units, and they have such a top-notch crew and techs and everything. If there is an effect or whatever, basically for who will be Tommy, or back then it was Ace, their tech would hit it on the side of the stage for them over in their world and whatever. But it's such a smooth working operation and everything like that. Those techs are just always waiting on the side with the next guitar. You never see them tuning in between tunes. You never see anything. It's just a guitar switch. They're done. If there's any effects, they're either from the front of house or from their guitar tech on the side. So yeah, you're right. 7-inch heels, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah.
They would have fallen.
Try to use a
I want
fucking
to see Ace do a wah-wah pedal.
Yeah, cry baby with a fucking boot.
Gene would have fallen down more than he already has. That dude's taking some trips.
He's taking some spills, hasn't he?
He's taken a few spills. It's funny because I don't think I've seen Paul fall. I mean, video. It's kind of funny talking about that. There's not a lot of video of Paul falling, if any. I don't know that I've seen any. And even Ace. I mean, Ace has stumbled a couple of times. But I don't know if he's ever hit the deck except for when he got electrocuted, which
Yeah.
That one was Lee Westy when he was bending over her. He tripped over the monitor. But there was one recently where he fell back and he actually bounced when he fell backward and his whole fucking body bounced on the stage. I was like, oh damn, that had to hurt.
I mean,
and then you can't get up. What are you gonna do? You can't get up.
Like a turtle.
Yeah.
Like a turtle that falls back on a shell. But just imagine how hard how much it would hurt hitting the ground with the amount of gear that they're wearing as just the regular guy in Levi's. It's a little different.
Which is kind of funny because Gene always gives people, for years gave people shit about coming out in jeans and flannel, and he walks out there and he's got on, jeans, a black T-shirt, and a jacket, and then he takes the jacket off, and I'm like, dude, you're dressed just like the people you were bitching about.
And it's so funny because
but it doesn't matter.
But he still doesn't make fun of the flannel thing. I remember we were somewhere. It was either very early this year or very late last year, but it was cold, regardless. And we were just out right by the hotel. There were places to go shopping, so we were out that day. And I actually found a couple flannel shirts that I liked. It was cold, flannel shirt. So we're backstage and we're having dinner, and I walk in and I have on my new flannel shirt, and then without a beat, he's like, hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, Mumford and Sons, I'm like, well, I guess I won't be wearing this tonight. I thought I was gonna anyway, but yeah.
Well, if you did, he'd just spend the next hour and a half just
to you, flambeing you.
I do sometimes think that he wakes up. I think he has a little notepad next to his bed and a pen, and it's just always ways to tease Ryan.
Well, when we saw him in Anderson, he was giving that one guy that was laying the words to the songs, the human teleprompter. Man, he gave that poor guy he was ribbing him hard.
Well, and here's the deal too. That we didn't know that guy. That guy.
Oh, he wasn't with the band?
No, no, man. He was just part of the local crew that was helping out the monitor guy who was stage right. You remember? And you remember he converted out from stage right and changing lyrics because there were some tunes that Gene's kind of like, I need the lyrics to. So we had these big sheets. We have since streamlined that process a little bit.
Well, it's funny because he comes running out there with poster board. You know, I can imagine what happens, right? So you guys are, during sound check, you're like, okay, we're gonna do, Love Her All I Can or something or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, somebody's gotta get poster board. They gotta send somebody to the, somebody to get poster board.
Down to Office Depot.
Office Depot. No, we started putting it on our production rider that we needed poster board to get because to make
and those big giant fat
Sharpies. Big Sharpie.
Sharpies. Yeah, I know. Maybe someday we'll get a teleprompter. I don't know. Maybe.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They use them on the road anyway. So what?
Tons. I mean,
whatever.
You'd be surprised. Every show you go to, Ozzy, Aerosmith, Metallica, Kiss, all of them. Teleprompters everywhere.
It doesn't matter though. Many of the times they don't remember the words anyway. It's right there.
Our band opened up for Mellencamp back in 05.
Yeah.
And Mellencamp had teleprompters. I'm like going, he's been singing these same fucking songs forever, and they're not a whole lot of words. And but he had that teleprompter, and there was a guy at the side of the stage because we were kind of side stage, and the dude was making sure all the words were. It was almost like a fucking karaoke machine. I'm like, this is fucked up, dude.
That's exactly what it's like. I know. No, I know.
The problem with Mellencamp is he only tours like once every however many years, and he only does one-off shows here and there. So, but back then he was touring more.
It's pretty infrequent,
yeah, pretty frequent. So Ryan, what bands do you like, man? What are you listening to? What do you listen to that's not Kiss related that Gene's making you work on?
Yeah, really. Man, you know what? I hate to be this way because it's like I feel like I don't want to say I sound like my parents because my parents are really cool and we're always really open-minded. But it was always a drag when all of us were younger and you would hear the people that were older than us say they weren't really interested in what the current state of music was that we were listening to as kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't want to sound like that, I do want to say I pretty much listen to basically a lot of 60s, 70s, and 80s rock that just the stuff I learned to play on. I still will put on Deep Purple's Machine Head way before I will go put out something new that's on active rock radio right now. Now, that doesn't mean they're bad guys or they're just I dislike what they're doing. It's just I'm just not familiar with a lot of it. I have gotten to a point, though, to where it's like I just like music. It's just weird when people go, oh, I don't like country music. It's like, well, I don't want to pigeonhole because there's some country music I like. There's some I don't like. There's some rock music I like, and there's some rock music I don't like. I mean, there's something in every genre that I do like. So if you were to look at my iPod or in my iTunes, man, it's all over the map. And in my car, this will freak out more than anything. The only thing that's on in my car is classical music. I don't even know lyrics, no nothing. It's just way different from everything that I play and work on every day. And between point A and point B, it's on the classical station constantly. I don't know who I'm listening to. I just know I like it.
Well, that's pretty
all
cool.
that matters.
But there's not a day goes by that I don't listen to some Pat Travers and Humble Pie and that kind of thing.
Can't go wrong with that.
I love the old school R&B stuff. I love Ohio Players. I love the Commodores. All that kind of Earth, Wind, and Fire. I just can't get enough of. Philip and I just went to see them not too long ago, and it just was insane. Just insane. Nile Rodgers opened up and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just, and I've even grown to appreciate a lot of stuff that I really thought that I hated as a kid. It's weird. I'm kind of find myself looking backwards at music more than I am actually looking forward to a lot of the new bands. What about you guys? What are you listening to? Is there anything that you're loving that I should listen to?
You mean there's a band other than Kiss?
We don't.
I'm a big Foo guy. I'm a Foo Fighters
Oh,
dude.
love. See,
I
there you go.
fucking
There you go. Perfect.
I love
Yeah.
Foo Fighters.
And they're even more so that it's so awesome that they're so successful doing well right now is like how lovable is Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins?
Yeah, exactly.
Just cool guys. Thanks for reminding me that. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said,
I'm actually going to Indy in May to see them because they canceled the show. Actually, Bill and I went to Lexington to see him, and that's when they had to cancel those 3 shows because of a family emergency.
Okay.
And they rescheduled it, but then it ended up being on a weekday. So the one in Nashville, we ended up getting tickets through StubHub for that one. So my wife and I, we went 3 times the last tour to see him. And
they're great. Great show. They're going to be here. I just found out when we're out of town.
Oh, is that what it's May 5th? Is that right? 15th or
something like that? Yeah. And the Struts. Now, see, I love the Struts.
Are they
really
going to be with them?
Yeah,
okay, because they were with them before. I was like, man, I hope because I do want to see those guys too.
The Struts are great. Super, super great.
Awesome.
We actually met them on when we were doing out with Kid Rock, I think, because I think they were on the bill as well, or whatever.
Wow.
And the Struts are great. So if you haven't check them out.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Really good band.
I've been hooked on the new Black Star Riders album.
They're great. They're on
Heavy
tour
Fire
right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're 6 hours away everywhere. It's like, damn.
I think the closest show to Nashville for us is 5 hours if we wanted to take a hike somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
5 or 6 hours. That'd be.
And I'd like to see Priest again, and I'd like to see those guys. I mean, that's a triple bill and a half right there.
We have some really good buddies in Black Star. I've known Robbie Crane forever. Damon.
Yeah, we had Damon on the show back month and a half ago.
A month ago, yeah.
Yeah, great. He was great. It was fun having him.
It's so funny you mentioned him too because I can't make this up. 10 minutes before we called each other tonight, I got a text from Ricky Warwick.
Oh.
And it said, "Hello, mate. Complimentary breakfast at the hotel." I don't know who he thought he was texting, but it was a different Ryan. So I just answered him back. I said, "Hey, man, this is Ryan Cook. Hope you find a free waffle tomorrow." He's like, "No." So he's somewhere hoping that the Marriott has complimentary breakfast tomorrow. I don't know.
There you go. Hopefully he's staying in a Hampton.
Yeah, right. But good for those guys, man. I was so happy to hear they got that tour. I mean, I wish Black Star. I wish all those guys the best of luck. They're good dudes, and those are good records, man.
Those are really good records. We'd kind of heard about them, and I'd been doing some research, and I listened to them a little bit, and then I got the latest album, and I was like, damn, this is really good. And, we've been talking about that on the show too. Finding the new stuff like that is difficult. I mean, you never hear it on the radio. Right. And so it's really a challenge. But, you got to keep poking around a little bit and finding stuff every, here and there, but.
We hear about it from other people on our show that we have on. Mitch LaFon's been on, and he mentions some names, and people that are like, who do you listen? Because just like we ask you, and the same thing, and then they'll mention something, and then we'll go like, man, we haven't heard of those guys, and we'll go listen to it, and they go, where in the fuck these guys been? We have it, completely off our radars.
See, like I said earlier, though, here I am telling you, like, oh man, I don't listen to that much new stuff. But then as things pop up, I'm like, oh yeah, this and that. That's kind of like I kind of like this dialogue, because it reminds me of stuff that I either need to remind myself to go pick up, or just remember that I'm still into some new music.
So you're in Nashville, or right outside of Nashville, right?
Yeah. I'm in
so
area
do you catch different bands? I mean, are you able to go catch bands and stuff locally, or are you just too damn busy?
Try to all the time as much as I can. It's getting more and more rare for any of us to go see a band that we don't have a friend in that band, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because we all play so much now that if we're not playing in a show, we're going to see our friend's band play in a show. And I'm trying to think, the last concert that I went to here just not too long ago was Kid Rock. He kicked off his U.S. tour here about a month ago, and that was at Bridgestone downtown. But as far as local small bands, man, there's so many that we're always going to see. You know, as far as any local stuff, it's just all of our friends are touring with different acts. Like you've got Damon with Black Star, you got Chuck with Alex Cooper, you've got Joe and Lizzie from Hellstorm. Hellstorm, I like a lot. You know, Joe and Lizzie live here.
Yeah,
and
we saw her actually at when we went to the Christmas show. We ran into Lizzie there, and we talked to her for a minute. We saw John Corabi. He was over at the other bar,
and so
and
he's
talked to him.
Daisies. Yeah, Dead Daisies. You know.
Yeah, that's another
great band.
That's another band. I am fired. I mean, I want to see them so bad. You know, if you could get that, Bill, Dead Daisies, Black Star Riders.
Oh yeah.
I would drive 6 hours.
Yeah.
I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, Dead Daisies just finished their new record here in Nashville at the end of last year, in December, and I know they start rehearsals in New York next week. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to go see them somewhere pretty soon.
So they'll be on a summer gig with somebody then.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, that whole band, super nice guys. That whole organization are just top notch. Good people.
So talk about the rock and roll residency.
Jeremy and I do Big Rock Show together.
Right.
And then Jeremy and Philip, who is in the Gene Simmons Band, obviously all three of us, Jeremy and Philip started the residency.
Right.
Okay. And the residency is basically 70s and 80s hard rock, definitely some 60s hard rock put in there, but it's not like the Big Rock Show kind of hard rock. It's two different kinds. They're more Deep Purple, Aerosmith, Pat Travers, Humble Pie, that kind of thing is where the other Big Rock Show thing is White Snake, Motley, Rat, Bon Jovi. So you can see where there's definitely separation there. Phil and Jer started that, I think it's in 5 years now, 5 years ago, at a small venue in Nashville on Music Row. And it was Tuesday nights. And the whole thing was just like they were going to host the night and jam and do all the kind of music we were just talking about. Chuck Garrick was the original bass player in that because he was home from Alice Cooper at the time and had some time to kill. And their drummer, Jared Pope, who plays for Tom Kiefer now, he was also the original drummer, and he's still in it. So I go play with those guys every week. The first few years, I was there every Tuesday. In the last 6 months, I haven't been able to go every Tuesday, but I go as much as I can. I'm going to go tomorrow night. And, you know, I'm so happy for those guys because it's not just me they have up there. It's so many cool local players. Christopher's one of them.
He plays there quite a bit, I know.
That's how Christopher got introduced to the guys in Accept, was from the Rock and Roll Residency. You know, Wolf came out one night, saw Christopher, our friend, a mutual friend. She introduced Wolf and Christopher and everything, and that's how that whole thing worked out. But then, you know, every week it grew and grew. I made a lot of friends because of the residency that we all play together with now. So now every week you never know who's going to show up. There are your regulars like myself and people like Matt Farley and Danilo Lopez and Greg Mangus and, you know, all these people. Judd Fuller and Jared Pope are the other full-time members of the local version. And then when there's the traveling version of the residency, I'm the fifth guy that travels with them full-time on that. So we do Monsters of Rock together and all the different things around the country and local that we do. But on the traveling version, I'm in it. When it's in town, I'm only in it a little bit. But I'm just real happy for the guys because everybody showed up. We had Gene show up and play there.
We saw the video of that the other day. It was cool.
Yeah, Joe and Lizzie from Hellstorm, Chuck from Cooper, who I mentioned. Actually, Chuck got the whole entire Alice Cooper band to come play there a few years ago, which was great. Karabi's been there. I'm just forgetting so many major people. You have to ask Jeremy or Philip if you ever have them on the show, and they'll tell you they have a list. They remember it of who's been there. But it's just an awesome show, and the cool thing is every week it's free admission, and it's become like one big, really huge family. Not just the people who play in the show, but also the people who attend. Because we've made, you know, not just me, everybody in the band has made so many really cool friends just because of that show. And Nashville's such a musical town, and there was nothing like it. Even though there was a million bands in town playing every night, 7 nights a week here, there was nobody doing what they were doing that honed in on that kind of hard rock. I mean, it's Nugent. It's like, you know, Dire Straits. It's like anything that's cool, guitar rock, it's going to get played there.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so does the Big Rock Show still exist?
Yeah, just not as much as it used to, man. Between Jeremy and I kind of decided we were going to hitch our wagons together when things really started, because then the rock show was super busy so much for so long. And then the residency came along and it started getting really busy. And then they were nice enough to ask me to be a part of the residency. And, we just started hustling a lot and we had to decide. And then the Gene thing came in and the residency and the Gene thing got a lot busier than the big rock show. So we kind of just had to decide, okay, what are we going to focus our time on? And, the big rock show is still great. We're going out with Kid Rock here in 2 weeks. We have a couple other things lined up that I haven't signed the papers on yet, but are going to be happening later this year that a lot of your listeners will like and that kind of thing. And it still exists. It's just not as busy as it used to be, just because of all the other stuff going on. Not just Jeremy and I, but the rest of the guys in the band, like Tyson Leslie, who's in the Big Rock Show with us. He's the keyboard player for Vixen, and he's also their tour manager. So he's super busy all the time with those guys. And
it's amazing that you can even get together with everybody being, with so many other outlets. It's like, how can you find us? Can we actually play this weekend?
And thank God now, for as much as it's a pain in the ass and gets in the way, I think, of a lot of stuff, but also thank God for texting and emails and stuff now, because that's how we rehearse now. I mean, we all trust each other enough to know that everybody's capable of playing and singing what you're signed up for. So it's the honor system. It's like you get a text or an email saying, hey, do you want to do this? Or one of us saying, hey, let's do this. And then if someone chimes in and says, okay, that's it. You just do your homework on your own. You show up. We don't get in a room and sit and rehearse like we did when we were growing up and just had band rehearsal every day or that kind of thing. This is a whole different thing since we all work so much. It's totally honor system, and you have to just do your homework and show up.
Well, our band's like that too. I've told him, we've been together 7 years, and I'm like going, when we want to learn a song, as long as we all know what key it's in and we all agree on which version of it we're going to do. Yep. If you fucking do your homework, when we go to play, it should just fucking click together, You
have to. And, and we're all lucky enough too that with as big of a group of us as there is, we have the chemistry of a small group, meaning we all can interchange parts and play really well together. And, and there's a lot to be said about that.
Yes.
Just getting good guys together that are good players and that can handle everything. So, yeah, the residency's been fun. I hope you guys get to see it. And
I'm coming someday.
If you can't make it to town, there's a really good chance that we'll probably be on the road coming near you somewhere to play where you guys are. Maybe you'll do a show. Maybe you'll have a show, and we'll play it.
There you go.
Yeah, probably.
We'll definitely stay in touch, and we'll keep track of where you are, where you guys are going to be. Because actually, I'm going to be, because I could actually come down earlier that week, and because I'm actually off that week of the food concert. But you say you're going to be gone that week, so
I think, is it May 5th?
I think that's May 5th is the concert.
Well, here's the deal, because we leave May 1st,
right,
for Gene.
And May 1st is a Tuesday.
Yeah, and we play 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and we return on the 5th, probably really, really late on the 5th.
Yeah, and that's the show is on the 5th. 4th or 5th. I can't remember. It's either the Friday or the Saturday.
I think it's the 4th. But anyway, we're doing Gene Simmons Band is doing Clear Lake, Iowa on the 2nd, St. Charles, Illinois on the 3rd, Fort Wayne, Indiana on the 4th, come home on the 5th.
Bill's like going, Fort Wayne.
Yeah. You'll love it. Come down. We'll take it. And apparently it's a really cool little outdoor amphitheater there. And we are the first show that kicks off the concert season this year at that amphitheater. Also, we come home for a day or two. Then we go to the Indianapolis Kiss Expo.
Oh, we're going to be there.
We'll see you there.
We're
going to have a booth.
be there?
Gene Simmons Band will be performing.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, we're going to be there, and we're going to have
a booth and everything.
Yeah.
Good. It's Gene Simmons Band. That's going to be a good lineup. Ace Frehley, all the guys from Frehley's Comet.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Kulick Brothers. Like I said, all of Gene's guys will be there minus Gene. Michael James Jackson. I mean, there's really, really good lineup. Keith LaRue really helped us out. I think Eric Singer's going to be there.
Yep. Eric's there on Saturday, I think.
Yeah, I think we played the first night, the night of the 12th. I think Mark Slaughter's going to be there.
Yep.
Vinny.
Yep.
Well,
You know,
these guys know the
we'll
biggest
see.
reason that I really, really, really want to go is because
Yeah.
I've got a Fraley's Comet album that John Regan and Todd Howarth have signed, and
Oh,
Anton Fig is going to be there. So
yeah.
that's probably the only time in my life I'll ever get to see this guy. So I definitely
Yeah.
want him to sign it. And now that Ace is going to be there, I get my whole album signed.
You got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
I'm trying to
we're
So
gonna be there
yes,
the whole
all three
weekend.
of us
So,
will definitely be there.
yeah,
Good. Oh,
all weekend. So
that's great.
come
Well,
hang with us and have a beer or
oh,
whatever.
we'll definitely, oh, I hope
So,
so. I hope
so
so. You
Ryan,
like?
do you have anything else to promote?
No, you know what, man? I'm basically all my eggs are in. Like I said, I've got Big Rock show going on with Kid Rock on his cruise coming up here pretty soon. But between the Gene thing is my focus. You know, I kind of feel, and this is a good thing. I'm never off the clock. We're always working on something. We're leaving the country a lot this year. Um, we'll be in Germany. We'll be in Sweden. We'll be in Vienna, Czech Republic. We're Australia.
Cool.
We'll be Australia.
Get your passports dusted off.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, man. We have put those things through the ringer in the last year alone, just with Gene. We're doing a lot, and there's more U.S. dates coming up, Midwest stuff, just
Cool.
everything. Every day there's something new from him saying, "Okay, we're going here, we're working on this, or we're doing that." So that's my priority.
Does that run through Doc? Does that all run through Doc? Is he managing him, or is that somebody
No.
else?
No, and it's not in a bad way or anything like that at all. It's just
No.
basically, no, Gene wanted to handle this all himself.
That's
I mean,
cool.
we're
Really?
oh yeah, absolutely, everything. I know Doc does in fact go out with Paul because Paul's doing his Soul Station thing, and I know that keeps him really busy. And Gene basically was just kind of like, we're gonna go really lean and mean on this thing. I mean, we don't even have a crew.
Cool.
We really don't. It's just it's the five of us fending for ourselves, doing everything. I advance the shows with the promoters, and that's about it. But as far as everything we do are fly dates. This is one date. These dates are coming up pretty soon. May I told you about are going to be on a bus. I don't think Gene's going to ride with us, but Gene's going to be on a bus. But no, man, it's just Doc is very supportive, and hey guys, go have a good time. But Gene's kind of like, I got this.
I bet he's having fun though with that. I mean, it just sounds like, like I say, it's so different and unstructured from what he's so used to.
Yeah.
He's probably just fucking eating it up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I promise you, it is definitely different than what he's used to.
Yeah.
Just in the sense that if Kiss comes to Nashville, they're going to play Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah.
Or if they come to Louisville, Kentucky, they're going to play the Yum Center. Or if they go to Los Angeles, California, they're going to play the Staples Center. You know what I mean? You get my joke. If Gene goes somewhere by himself alone, we're doing the Arcada Theater. We're doing the Agora Ballroom. We're doing polar opposites. So it's just so different from the Kiss scale.
Between that and his vault thing too, he's been doing that too, going to these odd places. And I'm going to be going. Actually, I'm going to the one in Nashville. I bought one.
I was just going to say that's another thing that I could promote. Thanks for reminding me. April 14th.
Yes, I'll be there.
Nashville. Well, Gene Simmons Band is playing at that.
Oh, cool! I get to see you again.
So Ryan, me, Jeremy, Philip, and Brent are going to do an acoustic set that day.
Cool.
Of a bunch of Kiss stuff during the Gene Simmons Vault thing, and
I'll be there too.
In Nashville, so you're going to see all the guys that day too.
Awesome.
Yeah. Jeremy and I might be a little tired. That's the same day that we get back from the Kid Rock cruise.
Oh, geez. You'd be like going.
Man, I can say that one is a hard one to get over. the Kid Rock cruise. Those
I can imagine.
A little party going on down there.
Oh my God. It's a trailer park on water.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, Jeremy and I landed 1:00 that day. The vault event starts at 11:30 that morning.
Yep.
So Jeremy and I run home, drop off our bags, pick up our guitar, shower, pick up our guitars, and then we perform at 4:00 that day. But the vaults typically go from like 11 to 7, 11 to 8.
Yep. I'm going to be there, so it'll be interesting.
Let me ask you,
Cool.
did you get a vault?
Yes, I did. I bought one.
Okay. I want to keep it just a complete surprise for you. I don't know what you've heard or about the experience or.
Well, I've already heard a
watched
bunch
the
about
video
it.
and-
Yeah, we've been watching a bunch of it.
I just got to tell you that it's going to be more of a cool experience than I think that you might even be.
I know Vinny's going to be there too, and it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward
to me, that's just all icing on the cake. Ace being there and that kind of thing. I'm just talking about that minute when you get your vault, and
right.
I mean, man, he invests time in each person that comes. It's not like just the meet and greet like they used to do in the thing.
Yeah.
You walk by and you might get to shake their hand. You kind of stick your head in for a photo. Yeah. I mean, he spends time with you. Each vault has a lot of the same contents and but each vault is unique in the fact that he puts something different in every single vault that the other vaults don't have.
Dennis is getting a Gene Simmons jock strap.
There you go.
A used jock strap.
A used one. And I'm not a really big on autographs or anything, but the only thing I'm going to bring down there, I've got my original first, Destroyer album that's just beat to shit, and
Dennis
that's going to be the one thing.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What's that?
Now, was that your first? How old are you?
I am 52.
Okay, I'm 48. So same wheelhouse. That was the first Kiss album that I owned.
All I'm going to say is guys that are 48 are the coolest.
There you go. Right. Okay.
I heard this one first from my neighbor, but then this was the first one I bought. I went to a day later and bought this album, so that's when I first started out, and then backlog from there.
So did you ever get? Because right in that same time frame, did you buy the originals?
That's the only album that one and Double Platinum are the two albums that I never did buy.
You don't have those?
No, I don't have those.
Wow, I have both those. Yeah. Actually, I might have two copies of the originals.
Because I just bought those three albums, and I'm like, man, do I want to rebuy these?
My originals looks like Dennis's Destroyer.
Yeah, mine does too. They look in bad shape.
I've got
my Destroyer Ryan is hanging on my wall over here. You can't see.
Oh, okay, good.
Which was my first album too. So
yeah, the cool thing about it, like you talk about you talk about buying it again. Oh, do I want that again? Man, I was more interested in the cover,
right,
and all the stuff in it than I was. Yeah, I knew I already had it, but it's like I didn't have that cover.
Hindsight's 2020. If I hindsight, I would have.
Well, I will tell you. See that yours looks in good shape. Your Destroyer, but here's the deal. It's they're very easy to find right now on eBay and whatnot. Oh yeah, you got them all. He's got Dress to Kill there.
I broke my Dress to Kill, unfortunately. I need to get another copy of that.
And I will tell you this also. Yeah, he's got them all. The good thing is, if you go rebuy everything now, remastered on 180, it sounds, man, it's like there's tons of it. I had to rebuy a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, I just bought the brand new 180 gram. And the thing is,
I'm surprised you can hold that up with one arm.
That and it's got the original. It's still got the original brand spanking new thing that I got cut up when I was a kid. But this thing, it's heavy. It actually is super duper heavy.
Yeah. And if you buy
we're showing shit there. I'll show.
Oh, there you go. Love it. Yeah, that's the cool thing about the reissues. Is they included all the stuff in it, except posters.
Yeah, exactly.
This room is full of shit.
Well, it looks like I'll be seeing you, or we'll be seeing you here in Indy, and I'll be seeing you in Nashville, and hopefully we'll catch you and see the residency one of these days, and Tuesday.
Open invitation to you guys wherever we're playing.
May 4th. I got to figure out May 4th, man. I got to figure that out. That's a Friday.
See, May 4th, I'm going to be
that day. I'm pretty sure I feel sick that day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Nashville seeing the Foo Fighters that night. So
got it.
I'm fooling.
Well, if we make it to Fort Wayne, just let Gene know I'm not as tall as he is, so I need a shorter guitar strap.
We'll get you a stool to sit on.
That would be great.
There you go. You can sit on a stool.
Great.
But no, seriously, any time that we're in your area, you guys reach out to me and
we will definitely.
We'll figure that out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on tonight. Yeah. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, do you have any www dots whatever you want to plug?
I just basically, man, I'm just Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
All right.
Basically, so it's Ryan Spencer Cook at Facebook and Ryan Cook 1969 on Instagram. And
it was I appreciate you just responding. That was pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of funny, our show is not huge. We don't have a ton of people, but
Right.
we've been very fortunate in the last year to catch some fish.
awesome.
And
Really.
it's all about casting that out and seeing what happens. And I got an email. It happened to me today. I was sitting around and somebody had posted something on Instagram and I thought was pretty cool. And I responded and said, "Hey, that's really cool, but what about being on the Ages of Rock podcast?" And 10 minutes later, I get an email. I get a thing back, a direct message. It says, "Yeah, man, I'd love to be on the podcast." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Awesome. That's great. Well, like
So
I said, it shows that
awesome.
you guys are nice guys, and it's a cool program. And I'm
Awesome.
sure you'll be getting a lot of cool guests on there. I'm sure it'll be great.
I just sent you a friend request too on Facebook.
Awesome.
So. Awesome.
Delete that.
Yeah.
You don't want friends like this.
I'll send you a text message, Ryan. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
No,
got
you
three
guys,
different
you're-
names. You don't want to.
Bill has my info, so you guys are all welcome to reach out to me anytime. Seriously, if you're ever in
Awesome.
Nashville, let us know. And if a show comes near you, I'll tell you this: you'll know that we're near to you before I will know that we're near to you. If that makes sense. So you gotta let me know.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
All right,
We
man. Well, thank you very
understand.
much.
All right.
And
We
when
appreciate
let
you being
me
on
know-
the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Hang around for a second. Hang around.
All right,
Go.
guys. So,
Take us out of here.
man, what a great night. That was a lot of fun. All right, so you can find the Ages of Rock on agesrock.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Stitcher Radio,
Spotify.
and just hey, look up podcasts, look up cool podcasts. I'm sure we got to be right at the top of the
Get
list, right?
on the Google.
Get on the
Get on the
Google.
Google.
All right, people. We'll see you later next week.
All right.
Peace out,
See ya.
folks. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.